Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Please.
Oh, you're speaking to him. Is this the love of my life, Susan Tate?
Well, I'm not so sure about that now, Wendell, because in the telling of this story, you completely cut me out.
I didn't mention the fact that Susan Tate was, embarrassing me on the air and masturbating with a dildo named Wendell.
You completely threw me under the bus. You threw me under the bus, and you glorified yourself. Well, or it was calling in live reports all evening. Bullshit! I call bullshit on you, Wendell.
Wow.
Well, I'm sorry, Susan. I apologize. It was not meant to be a slight against you.
I know how it is. Boys will be boys when they get in their little clubhouse with their little friends. They have to tell war stories and make themselves the heroes.
Well, that's what Chris is doing. He's hanging out with his little friends at the Pinball Hall of Fame tonight.
Right.
Isn't that wonderful? Children's games.
Right.
All you're missing is Jeffrey and that despicable Reb Beach in their filthy magazines.
That despicable Reb Beach.
Well, he is a Pittsburgher. He is from Monroeville.
Really? Yeah, I was in Monroeville today. I didn't hear the brown sound anywhere.
How could I ever have guessed that he would be from that cesspool?
What do you got to say about that, Ed? Pittsburgh is a cesspool. Susan Tate, Geoff Tate's lovely wife, is proclaiming Pittsburgh as a cesspool because Reb Beach is from Monroeville.
Fox Chapel, actually, yes, but Reb Beach, the founder of the Brown sound. Yes. What about Reb Beach? He's all right. I carried his guitar a couple times.
Ew, did you wash your hands?
Yeah. No. What about him? Beach is all right. I don't know.
I don't know what he's doing now. I assume he's off, creating works of brown finger paint art somewhere else. But
well, he's playing with David Coverdale, Susan. He's in the Purple Experience with David Coverdale.
Playing with David Coverdale? Oh God! Playing? What do you mean? Playing with him?
Like playing in the band with David Coverdale, not playing with David Coverdale.
Oh,
so you think?
I thought you meant. I would never have guessed. Mr. Coverdale is quite a distinguished English gentleman. I never would have expected. Let us talk about something else, shall we?
Well, I don't think Geoff would approve of David Coverdale because of his boorish music choices.
Well, would you like to hear Jeffrey's opinions on
Well,
that?
is Geoff around there? I thought he'd be, boning up for the next tour.
That's what she said.
Well, Jeffrey he is taking a couple of days off. He's been sequestered with the boys. They have been, hard at work. If you know what I mean.
You said hard.
Absolutely, and I would know better than anyone else. But, as hard as it is, it's still no match for my Wendell. And, whatever you... I forgive you, Wendell.
All right. Well, I apologize, Susan. I honestly did not mean to leave you out of the mix.
I appreciate that, and please make sure it does not happen again.
All right. I just hope you're still getting wet for me.
Ooh, yes. Have the pussy butterfly thing.
What?
Would you
Pussy
plant
butter. There, pussy
kisses
butter.
on me? Would you plant butterfly kisses all over me, Wendell?
Susan, you are the love of my life. How could I deny you?
When will we be together, Wendell?
As soon as Geoff goes on tour and, we can have the house to ourselves.
It can't happen soon enough for me.
All right. Well, kick Geoff out the door and we'll be together soon, Susan.
I would, but he wants the telephone. Jeffrey! Jeffrey!
Geoff, it's a pleasure to speak to you again, sir. We have not had you on the show for a while, and I welcome you back with open arms, but not in a gay way.
Well, in this new facet, this new phase of my life, I am open to all sorts of different experiences, but we might save that for another time.
Right. Well, Geoff, we have even though he's an old friend, he hasn't been a part of the CMS as a kind of a co-host tonight, and I want to introduce you to our good friend bassist Ed Beeler. Ed, say hello to Geoff Tate.
Hello, Geoff. This is your life.
Greetings and salutations, Edward. I must say I admire the fucky effect on your voice.
The fucky effect?
Yeah, that's the shitty mic he's on, Geoff. It would not meet your standards, and I'm sure that you would toss it out the window if you enter.
It sounds as though Edward has possibly borrowed Young Doghouse's Radio Shack microphone.
Exactly, that's what it is too.
Actually, yeah, Chris is on the Radio Shack mic. This is a real mic, but Chris beat the fuck out of it.
Right.
Well, I don't suppose the two of you would share it, but that might be a little gay.
Yeah, that would be Geoff.
I suppose we were talking about my old compadre, Richard, the Earl of Beach, and something about white snake or brown snake or king snake or whatever it is.
Trouser snake, Geoff. It's trouser snake. You should know that.
Toilet snake.
In my case, it would be black mamba snake.
Right, exactly.
It would be bushmaster.
Well, Ed is a neighbor of your former guitarist, Reb Beach, Geoff.
That is simply wonderful. Do you admire the brown shutters of his house?
It's a nice neighborhood.
Absolutely. What have you to say about Reb Beach and the peculiar smell about his property?
Must be the leach pit.
Mr. Beach, one day I asked him, why does your grass grow so green? He said, organic fertilizer, Geoff, organic fertilizer.
Well, is that why there was so much grass growing in the back of that docking bus a decade ago?
Well, I'm sure Reb did his best.
Well, Geoff, where have you been? Go ahead.
Reb Beach, Reb likes to paraphrase from the great Henry Ford, the great American innovator and entrepreneur Henry Ford, when he says, "Any color so long as it's brown."
Right, I agree.
But now he's expanded his palette a little bit. He's including purple in that.
It kind of makes a nice collage of color, purple and brown.
Well, that purple is the color of the pussy of Geoff's people.
Actually, as a matter of fact, it looks like the peanut butter and grape jelly sandwich that Miranda smashed on the kitchen floor this week. For which she was banished to the basement once more.
Oh, she was vanquished to the basement?
Yes, she has had a bit of a regression in her progress.
Oh my! Well, I'll make sure I will not let Officer Jim know about that.
I am not afraid of some mall cop.
Well, Geoff, where
you can tell Buford whatever you like.
Well, where have you been hiding or keeping yourself for the last month or two? Are you working on something new? I know that it was announced that you have like a 3-part project that you're working on. So how is that coming along?
It's coming along well. Of course, I'm not at liberty to say much about it at the moment. But the boys and I have been sequestered, as my lovely wife Susan made reference to a few moments ago. We've been sequestered. We've been hard at work. We've been slaving over this project. The creativity is flowing. The Insania wine is flowing. The things are coming along nicely. It's a very involved in complicated storylines. It's multifaceted. It is multi-layered. It has many levels of complexity. It's something that the average, the average booger eater in your chat room probably will not be able to wrap their little pointy heads about.
Right.
But I have taken time out. I don't know. I suppose I am probably not allowed to announce this, but since you are such close friends of mine, I think I have a bit of an announcement to make. And it may be somewhat premature, like Wendell's ejaculations, but may have passed out of your notice, and perhaps you read the celebrity news, the TMZ, the ZMT, the DMV, all that sort of thing. A couple of months ago, there was an announcement made about a former pop star, a lesbian, approaching her half-century mark. She is with child, as it were.
Bruce Jenner?
No, she is also lesbian. So
Melissa Etheridge?
No, not
Chastity Bono?
Someone much more alluring. Someone I've been a great fan of ever since I saw her in the Breck commercials many moons ago. But anyway,
Sybil Shepherd?
Please be quiet.
That was Neil.
All in good time, Christopher. You will find out who this is, because I am making the announcement that I am the lucky sperm donor for Sophie B. Hawkins.
Kind of like David Crosby did for Melissa Etheridge and her, her lover.
Absolutely. I reached out to Sophia. I told her that I was a great fan of hers. Damn, I Wish I Was Your Lover was one of my favorite Viagra songs, if you know what I mean. Always never fails to put me in the mood. I reached out to her people, and I told her that we talked about one thing and another, and it came up that she was looking for a little bit of a hot beef injection, so to speak.
Well, Geoff, did you actually? I'm going to put this in a very formal term. Did you actually experience coitus with this woman, or was this a turkey baster type situation?
Let me put it to you this way. We got done. The first thing I did afterward was I got on the little tap iPhone machine, and I texted David Crosby, and I said, "In your face, bitch." He had to jerk off in a bowl or something. I made a personal deposit in the spank bank.
Wow. Well, how was it, Geoff? I mean, she's no spring chicken, and I realize that Susan, is in her prime as it were, but how was it? Was Sophie B. Hawkins still a vibrant woman? I mean, was she still receptive to a man meat known as Geoff Tate?
Well, she'd been diverting her interests for a great number of years, so it had been a long time since she had a big hot dick in her.
Assuming she had it any time in her life, being that she is a devout lesbian.
I believe she at one point was a bisexual, but I am not, we didn't talk about her history. We just got down to business.
Right.
We got down to brass tacks, as it were.
Did you boil them?
They were already quite hot, as it were. We did it a couple of times for good measure to make sure it took, as it were.
Right. Well, let me ask you, Geoff, if this isn't too personal, how do you set the table, as it were, with a Sophie B. Hawkins? How do you get things kind of, how do you get the juices flowing, as it were? I mean, what does it take for a Geoff Tate to approach a woman of her age and experience and her ideology to accept the black mamba of Geoff Tate?
Blowjob.
Well, of course, we first start with a little Queensryche music to set the scene. You know, you may not know this. I'm sure Christopher has tried this, possibly Edward as well, possibly even together. You know, Queensryche is even more effective than Marvin Gaye or Barry White. Of course, nothing so silly and revolting and juvenile as a high school jerk-off song like Queen of the Rag.
Oh, dude, there's nothing that draws more pussy than that hotspot junkie.
On the other hand, I put something like, Knight Rider or, one of these other moronic tunes. I'm trying to think of the titles of really stupid
Take Hold of the Flame.
Queen of the Reich. Good reference.
Now, we set the scene, and of course, you have to sort of ease into the thing gently, so to speak. I'm speaking figuratively now.
You're not talking about just the putting the tip in, right, Geoff?
No, I'm not. Well, we haven't gotten to that point yet. You see, you have to, with someone like Sophia, it would not do to, to startle her. So engage in a bit of a little bit of role play, a bit of cross-dressing, if you will.
Did you work those daddy issues with a song like Bridge?
A good number of lesbians have become so because of daddy issues.
She looks like Sheryl Crow.
Would you let me tell the story, Chris?
Please do, Geoff. I apologize.
Stop calling me Chris.
I apologize for my co-host, interrupting you, Geoff. So please continue.
Well, first I put on a fetching ball gown, not a ball gag, but a ball gown. I made myself some fake tits.
Wow.
And then I made my face up in a very feminine way. All the cosmetics, I raided them from Miranda's makeup kit, which is fine. I highly regard that sort of thing. But anyway, I made my face up. I put on this ball gown. I put on some 6-inch pumps, and I put on my most feminine way of speaking. It sounds a lot like Susan.
Wow.
And this seemed to work for you, Geoff?
We had we shared a couple of bottles of Insania wine, and when the time was right, we talked about, I continued to speak to her in soft, soothing tones like this, and we talked about, all things pussy-related, and feminine, and, nurturing, and, child-raising, and child-bearing, and, child-creating. And when she was good and relaxed, and as a matter of fact, she was, a little bit, you could say. There may or may not, I am not 100% certain about this, there may have been a little Rohypnol involved. But, when the time was right, I shucked out of that dress and I climbed on and went to town.
Right. So you basically, she just accepted your seed without resistance.
I climbed on that horse and we galloped away.
That's what every good rapist does.
So you mentioned you did this a couple of times for good measure to make sure it took. So once you finished your first, contact, how did the second time come around?
One of your boorish songs says, she was sedated so I could penetrate her for an hour, maybe 3.
Wow, you really put your heart and soul in everything that you do, Geoff, regardless if it's music or performing oral or whatever it is that you do, Geoff. You definitely put a creative spin on all of it.
Absolutely, it's one of the things that I strive for. If I can't be creative, then I just as soon put a bullet in my head.
Right. Well, when it comes to being the consummate artist, I think that describes you exactly.
Absolutely. I strive for diversity and creativity and integrity and honesty in all of my creative endeavors, and I think we've created one little what would you say?
A tater tot?
Baby. I was going to say Aryan baby, but I remember that I'm part black. So, we got one, fine-looking little high yellow baby coming.
Nice. Well, Geoff, let me ask you something. Was Susan on board with this, donation of your creative seed?
We are all for extending the family, improving the legacy, and especially since we've kind of hit a wall as far as Miranda is going.
Well, Geoff, will you act on your black heritage and have no involvement at all with this kid?
It's in the contract. I'm not allowed near it.
Is that in a contract or is that in a restraining order?
What do you call one of these adoption contracts, one of these sperm donor contracts? You don't have any rights as a father, which is fine with me. I just wanted to see if I could fuck a comatose lesbian.
And I think you were successful, Geoff.
I am as well. I had a dream I was a hero.
Very, very Martin Luther King-like of you, Geoff. I had a dream.
Absolutely, and I am one of the lucky few who have made such a dream come true. So you can't begrudge me that sort of thing.
Absolutely not, Geoff. And I like the fact that you would choose the Classic Metal Show to come on here and regale us with these adventures. I'm actually shocked and surprised that this is what's been going on behind the scenes since we touched base with you last.
Well, I have long said that you and Christopher and you've all been you're my closest friends in the media. You're the only place where I can open up and tell these stories. What am I supposed to do? Go on Rockline and say this?
Or the Eddie Trunk Show.
Yeah, of course, Eddie Trunk. He wants to talk about, last time I spoke with Eddie Trunk, he asked me, by the way, Geoff, have you ever met Ace Frehley? He asked me what my favorite Kiss song was.
Did he ask you about joining UFO?
No, but he thought now that, Geddy Lee's pipes are starting to fry, he thought I might be a good replacement.
Well, that could be.
Can you work on the Indigo Girls next?
It's a thought, Belinda Carlisle is not looking too bad for an old gal.
2 for 1.
Got the moves. I saw her on Dancing with the Has-Beens. I might set my sights on that next. Perhaps, let's see, other female pop stars, other has-been female pop stars that are just, craving some of my macho, supercharged sperm. Is Rita Coolidge dead?
Rita Coolidge?
She might be a little bit too old.
Maybe Dionne Warwick would be more your speed.
What's Linda Ronstadt up to? The grave, right?
Elkie Summer.
I'm passing on Dionne Warwick. She's a little too freaky as far as that, the spirits.
Hey, Joyce DeWitt was at the Comic-Con here today.
Yeah.
She's a good choice.
What about Joyce DeWitt?
Thinking more in terms of someone like, who?
Meredith Baxter Burney?
Is Whitney Houston's daughter off life support yet?
No, I think she's still comatose, Geoff. I don't think there'd be any resistance there at all.
Wouldn't have to waste a Rohypnol on her.
Keep on that line. It wouldn't be becoming to waste such talent as Whitney's. All the best things skip a generation. So
it really wouldn't be bad if you saw Bobby Christina and just started humping around.
Absolutely. Every little step I take is, I'd climb on that thing, and since she's comatose, I'd have to sing, I guess I'm gonna have to, with something about being on my own and stuff.
What, the Ghostbusters theme?
Absolutely. That'd be it is my prerogative to do such things.
Right.
You're going to rock with her all night long. I'm going to roll you over because you're not strong.
I'll be cruel if I feel like it.
Wow.
But if she puts up a fight, I may just say fuck it. She ain't worth it.
Right.
I can't imagine that she's going to put up a fight these days.
Have her dancing on the ceiling.
These jungle bunnies can be mighty strong.
Wow.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God.
Holy shit, that's great, Geoff.
He can say that. He's part black.
Right.
And I find it particularly telling that the biggest laugh of the evening comes on the word jungle bunnies.
Hey, at least I didn't spout out Jigaboo.
Hey, Jesus, really?
That's old hat.
I know. That's a Cleveland thing. Just ask the Channel 8 newscaster.
I wouldn't know about that. But remember, you're speaking to a black man.
Right, right.
Yeah. Neely. Jesus.
Exactly. Well, Geoff, is there anything else you want to, impart upon us and the fans and people of the CMS?
Nope, I suppose not. But I would like to remind all my black brothers out there, when Officer Friendly pulls you over, just say, "Good evening, officer. How may I help you?"
Exactly. Well, Geoff, I think all this discussion that we've had kind of has one thing in common, and I want to end this discussion with you with a Queensryche tune from the Empire release.
Oh, hopefully one of the ones that I wrote.
I thought that.
Of course, I wrote 81% of the music.
Exactly, and you deserve 81% of the royalties from this.
That's what we think.
But I think probably a good song to take us out of this segment would be "Resistance."
Well, it sounds a little too much like heavy metal, but it's your program.
It is, but we're glad that you're a part of it, Geoff, and that you continue.
I'm glad to be a part of it.
And that you continue to patronize us and spread your wisdom and enlighten us all.
My wisdom, and I'm spreading my wisdom, and I'm spreading my jisdom. Oh yeah,
you are absolutely.
All right, now I'm going to go check on Miranda, see how things are going in the basement.
All right, Geoff.
I'm loosening my belt now as we speak. As they say, spare the rod, spoil the child.
Exactly, and you got a rod to not spoil that child with.
I got a lot of catching up to do on this show.
It was nice speaking with you, Edward.
You too, sir.
Hopefully we will be trading pleasantries many more times down the road. And good luck with your balls, your pinballs, your whatever that shit is.
You got it. Can we play Nostradamus now?
Good luck with your Pee-wee's Playhouse.
All right, Geoff. All right, see you, Geoff.
Red Beach,
Out.